What's up, everybody? Welcome to Sector for Nerds. Today we're here to talk about Skeleton Crew Episode 8, along with kind of just my overall thoughts on the series as a whole. And also, officially, how's it going, everybody? It's been a minute. Glad to be back here on the channel full force and doing what I love to do, and that's making content for you guys. So make sure, as always, that you are liking this video, and if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, highly recommend you do so. Got a lot of great plans for 2025, you guys, so you definitely don't want to miss out on any of it. So in my little leave of absence, one of the things that you guys have missed out on from me is Skeleton Crew content. You know, me breaking down each and every episode of Skeleton Crew. I think we got to about episode 4, and then that was kind of about it, right? But, you know, I feel like if I would have continued to make videos on Skeleton Crew, I feel like they all would have been really, really short, because I just don't have much to say about this show. And even coming out of this finale episode, I still feel like I don't have much to say, because as I kind of worried, I don't think that this show was made for me. Don't get me wrong, it was a fun little adventure, but am I ever gonna go back and watch this ever again? Like, probably not. It's kind of another show, you guys, that, like some of the other Star Wars content that we've gotten lately, that I still feel like it just doesn't feel like Star Wars. Like, I don't get the same feeling out of watching stuff like this, or watching things like The Acolyte, or things like Andor. I don't feel the same way that I felt watching the original trilogy, or the prequels, or the Clone Wars. I'm not feeling it. Now, let me also specify by saying this. I do not think that Skeleton Crew is anywhere near the level of bad that The Acolyte was. But I also don't think that Skeleton Crew is that great either. There is someone, though, that I do want to give a shout out to. And that's Abby the Star Wars Story, for her coverage on the Skeleton Crew series. Watching her videos, you guys, it's been so great seeing her passion for this show and her excitement and enthusiasm. And it is kind of one of those moments where I look at that and it kind of like does remind me a little bit like, okay, not everything has to be for me. I get it. And so long as something like this isn't damaging the lore, which I don't think it did, it really, in the grand scheme of things, the show was harmless. So for me, it's just like, all right, like, I'm not gonna sit here and take away people's enjoyment of the show. If you guys enjoyed the show, more power to you. And like I said, Abby's been doing a phenomenal job covering this series, and by the way, y'all should go check out her channel, because she makes amazing content regardless, so go and subscribe to her. And as for me, it's like I sit here and I watch through the show, and I'm like, don't get me wrong, like, it has its moments, right? Like, I'll sit there and go like, okay, yeah, that was kind of cool, or, oh, I kind of see what they were going for here, nice. But again, this is probably something that I put on my list of Star Wars projects that I never watch again. I'm sure a main talking point of this episode is how Jod's master was killed, you know, earlier on in his days. So I guess we're kind of glad that we got that little bit of lore there, because I know people are probably wondering about that. And man, they left Jod alive at the end of this episode, so that kind of leads me to believe, like, all right, either A, they're doing a season 2, or B, he's gonna pop up later on down the road in something else. And by the end of this episode, it did feel like, okay, maybe the New Republic is going to take over at now, and like they're going to cease control of like the credit production or something like that, right? I did feel like this episode very much just like came to an abrupt end, right? Like, you had your big action scenes, you had your big moments and stuff, and then it's like, okay, now we're waiting for the epilogue scene where like it sets up something for the future, or it tells us like, you know, who was on that New Republic ship that just dropped by, or maybe give us some closure between all the kids, you know, having some fun with one another, or, you know, playing out on the streets, or, you know, doing something. But it was just like, oh, the New Republic's here, and the show's over. Thank you guys for watching. I was like, oh, okay. In the grand scheme of things, right, like, I'm sitting here and I'm talking about this show, right? Again, I sit here and it's not the worst Star Wars content that we've ever seen, right? I've seen much worse, in my opinion, but I think this is the problem that I'm sitting here facing right now is the last couple of Star Wars projects that we've had, to me, are all L's. Things I didn't like. Y'all know how I feel about Andor, and we're getting a season 2 later this year, so I feel like that's probably going to be another L for me. We've got Tales of the Empire, complete L. Acolyte, major L. And then there's this show, which may be a smaller L in the grand scheme of things, but I still feel like an L, if I'm being honest. And I guess I'm just sitting here, like, waiting to, like, dig my teeth into Star Wars content that I like again, you know? What's going on with the animation division, you guys, right now? We haven't heard anything from them in a while, which is why I have a feeling they might be cooking up something over there. Because ever since Bad Batch, they've been real silent on that front. Give me my Clone Rebellion show, Dave, I'm begging you. We still gotta wait a long while for Ahsoka Season 2. We've got a long while to wait yet before the Mando movie. Like, I don't know, it's just a shame to me. Because I love Star Wars so much, and I always will. But these last couple years, I feel like I've taken more L's on here than I've taken W's, you know? If you guys want to see me talk positively about Star Wars, you guys can watch my Clone Wars videos. Although, maybe I say that at a bad time because I think right now we're covering the droid arc. So, in Season 4, and that arc was pretty bad. But after that, we've got Umbara, and I'm very much looking forward to that. So, you guys, those are going to be exciting videos to dive deep into and talk about that arc. I will say this much, me and my brother, man, we've been cracking the joke of, can't say or remember no Atten, like that droid said. Me and my brother, we walking around the halls in our home being like, hey, where's that Atten? And he'd be like, can't say or remember no Atten. So if nothing else, this show gave me a nice little meme to joke about and have fun with, you know? Yeah, you guys, I think that is gonna wrap us up for today. I have decided, you guys, that I am gonna cover the Daredevil show from the MCU, Daredevil Born Again. That's gonna be coming up in March. So any MCU fans out there, hopefully you guys are looking forward to that. The MCU is another thing, you guys, that just, like, I feel like I've just, like, lost all hope in, if I'm being honest with you. Like, I kind of just don't give a crap about it anymore. But if there is one thing that I'm gonna be invested in, is the Daredevil series, because I am, like, super obsessed with the Netflix Daredevil series. I've seen the show like 3 times now. And originally, this show wasn't meant to follow up on the original show. It was going to be like its own separate thing. So it was going to be like, oh, okay, whatever. But then they did like a whole bunch of reshoots and stuff. And then they're like, actually, yeah, no, now this is going to connect with the show. So I'm like, all right. You guys are setting up expectations really high now, so hopefully that's going to be something for me to come on here and talk positively about. Because believe it or not, you guys, I don't like being negative. But I'm also not going to sit here and lie to you guys either and be like, oh, you know, this Skeleton Crew show was so great. I had such a great time watching through all the episodes. No, I'm not going to do that. Where there's certain moments where I'm like, yeah, you know what, this is cool, or I like what they did here, or, ooh, the episode ending with episode 7 last week, I was like, ooh, you guys have me hooked at the end there. I can't wait to see what you do at the start of next episode. So I give the show credit where it's due. But again, it's just all about me being completely honest with you guys. So with that, you guys, that is going to wrap us up for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, share this video with others to help support the channel, and I will see you guys next time.